I just passed someone in the hall that said, "What's going on in the Board of Supervisors? It's so peaceful and nice." It's a refreshing change of pace for often what goes on in the halls of government here. My name is Jenny Brush, and I'm the Executive Director of the County Arts Commission. I'm so happy to have you all here tonight. This is one of the many programs that we do as the Regional Arts Agency that represents Santa Barbara County and the city of Santa Barbara. We are one of about, I think, 35 other county groups and so on that are participating in the Poetry Out Loud contest. I know Ventura County had their contest today at 3, and we have ours. I think there's some more taking place in other counties tomorrow, with all of the finalists going to the reporting to the state on Monday morning. So I'm just so delighted. This program has grown so much over the years. This is our 5th year of participating. It actually started, we got on board in the 2nd year as one of the pilot counties, and it's just been great how the community has embraced this contest. And I can see so much this going on with the visibility of poetry in our community, thanks to the institution of our Poet Laureate, which the city adopted a number of years ago, and I'm delighted to say among us today are two past City Poet Laureates. So we're very lucky to have the degree of talent in our judges and in our MC this evening. I want to wish you all the best. I'm going to introduce Barry Spax, who will be introducing the judges. But just to give you an idea of how the evening will go, if you have prompters or people that are going to help you along with, if you forget something, they should probably place themselves here in the front row. The judges will be in the back, and they will be tallying your performances at the completion. And then we have our accuracy judge as well, who will be giving you a score based on the accuracy of the actual words as they are supposed to be recited. So just a few other housekeeping things if you need. The restrooms are out the door on either side of the elevator. The women's is on this side, the men's is on the other side. Following the announcement of the winners, we'll have a reception which will take place in the Board of Supervisors conference room, which is right out the hall in the double doors out here. So wanted to make you aware of this. I just wanted to talk a little bit. It's in the program, but the Poetry Out Loud is the same structure as a spelling bee, which I think more and more we're familiar with that. It was instituted to really encourage the spoken word and to encourage students to do more with that. It's certainly inspired, if you think about rap music and slams and so on. It's nice to have this opportunity to be familiarized with some of America's greatest poets. I want to especially thank participating teachers, faculty that agree to do this every year. It's something that they take on because they believe in the program and love it, and they have to work to integrate it into school curriculum, which is not always the easiest thing to do. So I would like to recognize, and if you'd stand up, that would be great, which is from Dos Pueblos High School, Bill Woodard. From El Puente Community School, Sojourner Kincaid Roll, another one of our recognized city poets. From Laguna Blanca School, Dr. David Barndollar. And from Santa Barbara High School, I want to recognize Roberta Nye and Patricia Ruth, who's the department chair as well. So again, I want to make this is my little commercial announcement. This program is funded in part by the California Arts Council. And I wanted to put in a pitch because the California Arts Council, for the funding they receive some from the National Endowment for the Arts, and in this case from the Poetry Foundation. But a large part of what funding that we get comes from the sale of those arts license plates. So I just want to make you aware of these. They're currently on a campaign to raise more money to support arts education and outreach. So if you don't have one, It'd be a swell thing to think about doing, and I have information here if you want it. But I would say for us, what it does for generating for Santa Barbara County, we receive approximately $18,000 that comes to us through the sale of these license plates. So when you see them around town, this is one example of the good work those license plates do. Okay, that's the commercial announcement. Okay, at this time, I want to recognize Barry Spax, who has been the first city poet laureate that we had, and he's set the bar very high in uniting the community around poetry, and done so much with his own work, published, and his work out at the university as well. So we are delighted to have him, and very appreciative of his willingness to be committed to the poetry community and future poets, I hope. And also want to recognize again Perry Longo, who I think you're going to go give more specifics about the judges. So the way this will work is, you've seen these were randomly selected, the order here, so you can see where you are in the list. And we will have you come up and make your presentation, and then we'll have a little bit of a break while the judges can tally their scores, and then they'll let us know when we're ready for the next. And you're welcome to stand behind the mic or stand off, depending to the side of the mic, depending on what you feel most comfortable doing. I also want to make a mention that we are being televised tonight, and so this will be appearing maybe more times than you want it to on County Television Channel 20. So we are very grateful to have this opportunity. How many of you went to the days of when we actually did this event in the mural room? While as charming as it was, it's much better to have this opportunity to be integrated into a more light setting, and one that the acoustics are much better, and the fact that we can be able to televise the event. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Barry Spax.
Thank you. I have the honor and pleasure to be a kind of gadfly up here, and I think I should tell you right off that while we pause for the judges to deliberate after each one of these recitations, I'm going to see if I can get some of you parents out there, and some of the teachers too, to put on a demonstration of the fact that you still remember something pretty much by heart from your own days. So we've done this the other 4 or 5 times, and with good success. We've had some people get up and give us the really special experience of a poem in Chinese or in Russian. So if you have any of those are particularly encouraged. I'm going to introduce the judges in just a second, but I thought if you don't have it handy, you might want to know how they're going to judge. They'll be dividing their perception into 6 parts as best they can. They're going to be thinking about physical presence, voice and articulation, appropriateness of dramatization, level of difficulty of the poem, evidence of understanding, and then an overall performance way of evaluating. Right now, I'd like to introduce the 3 judges and our judge who's going to be thinking about your accuracy as you give your poem. Carol DeCanio is poetry columnist for Casa magazine. There's Carol in the back. Carol writes those wonderful columns in Casa that you should be aware of and about poetry. She's a recipient of the Arts Fund Individual Artist Award in Poetry that the city gives out, and has had various art exhibits of her poetry paired with her wonderful photography. Her poetry is available in anthologies, literary journals, letterpress limited editions sold at City Lights Bookstore and Grolier's Bookstore, and she volunteers to organize a great variety of poetry events in Santa Barbara. Perry Longo, I hope Perry will also stand. Perry is the former poet laureate of Santa Barbara, and she's been incredibly active over the years, running workshops, forwarding poetry in the schools. She has 3 poetry collections of her own and many, many poems in literary journals, and she brings a very special background to her task of judging tonight, and that is her career as an actress and her MA in speech from UCLA with, get this, a specialization in oral interpretation of literature. So we lucked out with Perry. She is a marriage and family therapist and believes, I quote, that a memorized poem can nurture you through difficult times. And our third judge is Chris Yost in the middle back here. Chris is a noted co-editor of 2 very important poetry anthologies, her own poems widely published in journals, anthologies, and textbooks. She is a frequent poetry collaborator with the Santa Barbara Museum of Art and reads at a variety of poetry events in town. She teaches at the Granada Music and Arts Academy and volunteers in the library at Harding Elementary, in addition to being on the staff at UCSB, where she develops publications for Davidson Library and is managing editor of the Journal of Haitian Studies. And then Kathy Roxby has kindly volunteered to serve the important task of accuracy judge. She's been published in anthologies and several periodicals, including the wonderful Askew magazine from Ventura. She was associate editor for Poetry Forum and facilitator of the Soapbox Poets at Borders in Goleta. And she's a frequent judge for the California Federation of Chaparral Poets. Kathy, thank you so much. And now we're going to get started. I hope I can ask each one of the readers to handle the title of the poem, that is, so I won't speak it out, and the poet of the poem when they start. So we're starting with Zoe Serbin, and tell us your school as well, just before you start, would you? The school and the title and the poet. Zoe?
I'm from Laguna Blanca. Contraction by Ravi Shankar. Honest self-scrutiny, too often mutinies, mutates into false memories, which find language a receptive host, boosted by boastful embellishments. Self-esteem is raised on wobbly beams, seeming seen as stuff enough to fund the hedge of personality, though personally, I cannot forget whom I have met and somehow wronged, wrung for a jot of fugitive juice, trading some ruse for a blot or two, labored to braid with transparent diction. Fiction, quick fix, quixotic fixation. As the pulse of impulses drained through my veins, I tried to live 20 lives at once. Now, one is plenty.
Thank you, Zoe. Yeah, just after you've done your poem, just get back to your seat. We're going to give the judges just a minute or so to decide how they want to rate the reader. And just to get started with a little bit of interlude poetry, I'm going to choose one from this wonderful collection. We have some extra copies here of the poems that are put out by the Poetry Out Loud people. And I was looking through here hoping we'd find a poem by W.S. Merwin, because I have a little commercial, and that is he's our National Poet Laureate right now and twice the winner of the Pulitzer Prize. He's top poet, in effect, and he's going to be at Campbell Hall at UCSB on the 17th of this month. That is Thursday, the 17th of February. For those of you who love poetry, see if you can turn out to hear W.S. Merwin. I thought I'd start just with something I'm sure you're all very, very familiar with, and that is just a bit of a selection from Coleridge's Kubla Khan, the ending sequence from that long poem. A damsel with a dulcimer in a vision once I saw. It was an Abyssinian maid, and on her dulcimer she played, singing of Mount Abora. Could I revive within me her symphony and song, to such a deep delight 'twould win me, that with music loud and long I would build that dome in air, that sunny dome, those caves of ice, and all who heard should see them there, and all should cry, beware, beware, his flashing eyes, his floating hair. Weave a circle round him thrice, and close your eyes with holy dread, for he on honeydew hath fed and drunk the milk of paradise. Are the judges all set? Yes? Thank you. Next reader will be Emily Lunt. Emily?
My name is Emily Lunt. I am from Dos Pueblos High School, and I will be reciting Altruism by Molly Peacock. What if we got outside ourselves, and there really was an outside out there? Not just our insides turned inside out. What if there really were a you beyond me? Not just the waves off my own fire, like those waves off the backyard grill you can see the next yard through. Though not well, just enough to know that off to the right belongs to someone else, not you. What if, when we said, I love you, there were a you to love, as there is a yard beyond to walk past that grill and get to endure the endless walk through the self, knowing through a bond that has no basis, for ourselves are all we know is altruism. Not giving, but coming to know someone is there through the wavy vision of the self's heat. Love, become a decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. While the judges deliberate, I wonder if I could encourage anyone to recite a poem for us, particularly you parents and teachers out here, but anyone, really. Someone have one by heart? We still do that, I think. Judges need more time? You all set? Okay, I'll come back at you on that one. Kate Van Donge, do I have your name correct, Kate? Donge. Kate Van Donge will be our next reader.
Hi, I'm Kate Van Donge from Santa Barbara High, and I will be reciting The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry that I could not travel both, and be one traveler. Long I stood, and I looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, for it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for the passing there had worn them really about the same. Both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever be back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Thank you.
Thank you for that. The judges need some time. We have a poem by someone in the audience? No? Somebody's going to do it one of these days. Here's a cute little poem that takes up just about the right amount of time while the judges deliberate. It's by William Carlos Williams, and it's called Dans Russe, a Russian dance. If when my wife is sleeping, and the baby and Kathleen are sleeping, and the sun is a flame-white disk in silken mists above shining trees, if I, in my north room, dance naked, grotesquely before my mirror, waving my shirt around my head and singing softly to myself, I am lonely, lonely, I was born to be lonely, I am best so. If I admire my arms, my face, my shoulders, flanks, buttocks against the yellow-drawn shades, who shall say I am not the happy genius of my household? Thank you. And the judges seem to be ready, and so we'll move on to the next reader, who is Jonathan Ramirez. Jonathan.
My name is Jonathan Ramirez, and I'll be performing Harlem by Langston Hughes. What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat, or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode?
Thank you, Jonathan. The judges are going to think about things. I can feel them thinking hard. And they've had enough time. Anastasia Antonova is our next reader.
I'll be reading As Children Know by Jimmy Santiago Baca. Elm branches radiate green heat. Blackbirds stiffly strut across fields. Beneath bedroom wood floor, I feel earth, bread in an oven that slowly swells, simmering my Navajo blanket thread crust. As white-feathered and corn-tasseled, corn dancers rise in a line, follow my calf, vanish in a rumple, and surface at my knee cliff chanting. Wearing shagged buffalo headgear, buffalo dancer chases deer woman across Sleeping Leg Mountain. Branches of wild rose trees rattle seeds. Deer woman fades into hills of beige background. Red bird of my heart thrashes wildly after her. What a stupid man I've been. How good to let imagination go. Step over worrisome events. Those hacked logs tumbled about in the driveway. Let decisions go. Let them blow like school children's papers against the fence, rattling in the afternoon wind. This red bird of my heart thrashes within the tidy appearance I offer the world. Topples what I erect, snares what I set free, dashes what I've put together, indulges in things left unfinished. And my world is left, as children know, left as toys after dark in the sandbox.
So you can tell just by my expression that I'm asking whether anyone wants to come up and read. Here we go.
Fowler's the name, Stu Fowler, and I'm a rooster. Fighting's my racket, cockfighting. Come all the way from Texas, cross the burning sand, and wet my feathers in a Rio Grande. Hobble for miles to Mexico, come to kill a big bird named Rojo. Doing it all for chicken feed. Walk, 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 walk. I struck down the street to cock at a walk, and I crow for Big Red to come out and talk, and through the swinging doors of the Grande Nesta, with his tail feathers sitting on the head and resting, steps a fabled Rojo. I can tell he's a really bad egg, 'cause his spurs are long and his eyes are green. Uglier cock I've never seen. Then out of that honky-tonk and up to Rojo's side steps the prettiest little dance-hall cackler in the West, Rudy Nestor. My, I'd like to run my fingers through that comb of hers. But then Rojo comes at me in a long, lanky run. Some people gather around to watch the fun. Bird to bird and beak to beak, I face Rojo, and my heart gets weak. Then I crow and strut, and I jump about. And then I take off and run, 'cause I done chickened out.
Now there's professional reading, I'll tell you. That was wonderful. Thank you. Our next reader is Rishika Singh. Rishika?
My name is Rishika Singh, and I'm from Dos Pueblos High School. Mirror by James Merrill. I grow old under an intensity of questioning looks. Nonsense, I try to say. I cannot teach you children how to live. If not you, who will? Cries one of them aloud, grasping my gilded frame till the world sways. If not you, who will? Between their visits, the table, its arrangement of Bible, fern, and paisley, all past change, does very nicely. If ever I feel curious as to what others endure, across the parlor, you provide examples. Wide open, sunny, of everything I am not. You embrace a whole world without once caring to set it in order. That takes thought. Out there, something is being picked. The red and white bandanas go to my heart. A fine young man rides by on horseback. Now, the door shuts. Hester confides in me her first unhappiness. This much, you see, would never have been fitted together, but for me. Why then is it they more and more neglect me? Late one sleepless midsummer night, I strained to keep 5 tapers from your breathing. No, the widowed cousin said, let them go out. I did. The room brimmed with gray sound, all the in-streaming muslin of your dream. Years later now, 2 of the grown grandchildren sit with novels face down on the sill, content to muse upon your tall transparence, your clouds, brown fields, persimmon far and cypress near. One speaks. How superficial appearances are. Since then, as if a fish had broken the perfect silver of my reflectiveness, I have lapses. I suspect looks from behind where nothing is, cool gazes through the blind flaws of my mind. As decades lengthen, this vision spreads and blackens. I do not know whose it is, but I think it watches from my last silver to blister, flake, float, leaf by life, each milling downward dumb conceit, to a standstill from which not even you strike any brilliant chord in me, and to a faceless will, echo of mine, I am amenable. Thank you.
Thank you. I can see some people who are tempted. We're going to give the judges just a minute or two. I thought I might read a poem by a poet that a lot of people love. I'm careful not to read any that are scheduled to be read by the participants. This is E.E. Cummings, and the poem is entitled Anyone Lived in a Pretty How Town. I think you could say Santa Barbara is a pretty how town. Anyone lived in a pretty how town, with up so floating many bells down, spring, summer, autumn, winter, he sang his didn't, he danced his did. Women and men, both little and small, cared for anyone not at all. They sowed their isn't, they reaped their same, sun, moon, stars, rain. Children guessed, but only a few, and down they forgot as up they grew, autumn, winter, spring, summer, that no one loved him more by more when by now and tree by leaf she laughed his joy, she cried his grief, bird by snow and stir by still, anyone's anyway, all to her. Someone's married their everyone's, laughed their cryings and did their dance, sleep, wake, hope, and then they said their nevers, they slept their dream, stars, rain, sun, moon, and only the snow can begin to explain how children are apt to forget to remember with up so floating many bells down. One day anyone died, I guess, and no one stooped to kiss his face. Busy folk buried them side by side, little by little, and was by was, all by all, and deep by deep, and more by more they dreamed their sleep. No one and anyone, earth by April, wish by spirit, and if by yes. Women and men, both dong and ding, summer, autumn, winter, spring, reaped their sowing, and went there came sun, moon, stars, rain. The judges are all ready, and our next reader is Annie DeBruyn. Annie?
My name's Annie DeBruyn, and I go to Santa Barbara High School, and I'll be performing How Do I Love Thee, Let Me Count the Ways by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and breadth and height my soul can reach when feeling out of sight. For the ends of being and ideal grace, I love thee to the level of every day's most quiet need by sun and candlelight. I love thee freely as men strive for right. I love thee purely as they turn from praise. I love thee with the passion put to use in my old griefs and with my childhood's faith. I love thee with a love I seem to lose with my lost saints. I love thee with the breath, smiles, tears of all my life. And if God choose, I shall but love thee better after death. Thank you.
Thank you, Annie. We'll give the judges just a little time here. Thank you. Judges are ready. And we're ready to hear from Miranda Sandoval.
I will be reciting Romance by Claude McKay. To clasp you now and feel your head close pressed, scented and warm against my beating breast. To whisper soft and quiver your name, and drink the passion burning in your frame. To lie at full length, taut with cheek to cheek, kissing your mouth with kisses till you speak. To hear you ask if I shall love always, and myself answer until the end of days. To feel your easeful sigh of happiness, when on your trembling lips I murmur yes. It is sweet, we know it is not true. What matters it? The night must shed her dew. We know it is not true, but it is sweet. The poem with this music is complete.
I found a little one that takes just the right amount of time. It's Emily Dickinson. Hope, excuse me. Hope is the thing with feathers. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. Thank you. And I get a hand from the judges that they're ready to hear the next reader, who is Daria Azadi. Daria? Say it. Uh-huh. That's good. Thank you.
My name is Daria Azadi, and I am from Laguna Blanca, and I will be reciting Be Music Night by Kenneth Patchen. Be music night, that her sleep may go where angels have their pale, tall choirs. Be a hand, see, that her dreams may watch thy guidesman touching the green flesh of the world. Be a voice, sky, that her beauties may be counted, and the stars will tilt their quiet faces into the mirror of her loveliness. Be a road, earth, that her walking may take thee where the towns of heaven lift their breathing spires. Oh, be a world and a throne, God, that her living may find its weather, and the souls of ancient bells in a child's book shall lead her into thy wondrous house. Thank you.
We have another volunteer from the crowd. Ah, good. We're going to have a reader. No, we're not going to have a reader. That was tricky. We'll just wait a bit, and the judges will be ready in just a moment. They are ready. And our next reader is Courtney Cameron.
I'm Courtney Cameron. I attend Dos Pueblos High School, and I'll be reciting Since There's No Escape by Sarah Teasdale. Since there's no escape, since at the end my body will be utterly destroyed, this hand I love as I have loved a friend, this body I tended, wept with, and enjoyed. Since there is no escape even for me, who love life with a love too sharp to bear. The scent of orchards in the rain, the sea, and hours alone, too still and sure for prayer. Since darkness waits for me, then all the more let me go down as waves sweep to the shore in pride, and let me sing with my last breath. In these few hours of light, I lift my head. Life is my lover. I shall leave the dead if there is any way to baffle death. Thank you.
Here's a little tiny one. One of the 4 poems called Preludes by T.S. Eliot. It's the first one. The winter evening settles down with smell of steaks in passageways. 6 o'clock, the burnt-out ends of smoky days. And now a gusty shower wraps the grimy scraps of withered leaves about your feet, and newspapers from vacant lots. The showers beat on broken blinds and chimney pots, and at the corner of the street, a lonely cab horse steams and stamps, and then the lighting of the lamps. And we have just lit up with the judges in the back. They are ready to hear the next reader, who is Olivia Mercy. Olivia? There are 2 missing people, unfortunately, on the program who aren't able to be with us. And I have them crossed out here, so it's hard to read their names. Mercy Juarez and Matthew Torres, but neither of them could be with us tonight. So we're jumping right on to Olivia. Olivia.
My name is Olivia Mercy, and I will be reciting The Obligation to Be Happy by Linda Paston. It is more onerous than the rights of beauty or housework, harder than love, but you expect it of me casually, the way you expect the sun to come up, not in spite of rain or clouds, but because of them. And so I smile, as if my own fidelity to sadness were a hidden vice. That downward tug on my mouth, my old suspicion that health and love are brief irrelevancies. No more than the warm dark, no more than the laughter in the warm dark, strangled at dawn. Happiness. I try to hoist it on my narrow shoulders again, a knapsack heavy with gold coins. I stumble around the house, bump into things. Only Midas himself would understand. Thank you.
We'll give the judges a minute or two. And we're ready for the next reader, who is Amorous Yuri. Did I get that one right?
My name is Amorous Yuri, and I'm from DP. Piano by D.H. Lawrence. Softly, in the dusk, a woman is singing to me, taking me back down the vista of years till I see a child sitting under the piano in the boom of the tingling strings and pressing the small, poised feet of a mother who smiles as she sings. In spite of myself, the insidious mastery of song betrays me back till the heart of me weeps to belong to the old Sunday evenings at home with winter outside and hymns in the cozy parlor, the tinkling piano, our guide. So now it is vain for the singer to burst into clamor with the great black piano appassionato. The glamour of childish days is upon me. My manhood is cast down in the flood of remembrance. I weep like a child for the past. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. We have actually just 2 readers on the program to go. And I'm waiting for the judges to tell me to start. Aha, there we are. And our next reader is Hayley Peterson.
My name is Hayley Peterson, and I'm from Dos Pueblos High School, and I'll be reciting For the Young Who Want To by Marge Piercy. Talent is what they say you have after the novel is published and favorably reviewed. Beforehand, what you have is a tedious delusion, a hobby, like knitting. Work is what you have done after the play is produced and the audience claps. Before that, friends keep asking when you're planning to go out and get a job. Genius is what they know you had after the 3rd volume of remarkable poems. Earlier, they accuse you of withdrawing, ask why you don't have a baby, call you a bum. The reason people want MFAs, take workshops with fancy names, when all you can really learn is a few techniques, typing instructions, and somebody else's mannerisms, is that every artist lacks a license to hang on the wall, like your optician, your vet, proving you may be a clumsy sadist whose fillings fall into the stew, but you're certified a dentist. The real writer is one who really writes. Talent is an invention, like phlogiston after the fact of fire. Work is its own cure. You have to like it better than being loved. Thank you.
And as we await our final reader, see if we have one last chance for someone who has one by heart. Gerard Manley Hopkins, Pied Beauty. Glory be to God for dappled things, for skies of couple color as a brindled cow, for rose moles all in stipple upon trout that swim, fresh fire-cold chestnut falls, finch's wings, landscape plotted and pieced, fold, fallow, and plow, and all trades, their gear and tackle and trim. All things counter, original, spare, strange. Whatever is fickle, freckled, who knows how. With swift, slow, sweet, sour, a dazzle dim, he fathers forth whose beauty is past change. Praise him. And the judges have completed their deliberations, and we'll end the evening with Caitlin Connor.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Connor. I'm from Laguna Blanca School, and I will be reciting Dreamers by Siegfried Sassoon. Soldiers are citizens of death's gray land, drawing no dividend from time's tomorrows. In the great hour of destiny, they stand, each with his feuds and jealousies and sorrows. Soldiers are sworn to action. They must win some flaming, fatal climax with their lives. Soldiers are dreamers. When the guns begin, they think of firelit homes, clean beds, and wives. I see them in foul dugouts, gnawed by rats, and in the ruined trenches, lashed with rain. Dreaming of things they did with balls and bats, and mocked by hopeless longing to regain bank holidays and picture shows and spats, and going to the office in the train.
Again, I want to thank so much Barry Spax for being our MC this evening. He adds so much to the performance, sets the bar pretty high. I also want to recognize Stephanie Miller, who works with the symphony on their outreach, and she's gotten herself to come in. She's been very sick, but she's going to be playing some music while the judges are deliberating. But I wanted to give you an idea of what to expect. The judges are now taking the accuracy component and adding that to the judges, and they'll be making some selections. So the selections will be, there will be a third place, and then there will be a second place, and that second place will serve as the runner-up in terms of if the first place person cannot attend the Sacramento statewide competition, then that runner-up will go, and the first the first place person will represent Santa Barbara County at the state, and then the winner at the state will go on to participate in Washington, D.C. at the national level. And I do want to mention, I believe it was 2 years ago, Spencer Clavin from Laguna Blanca School actually went on to win at the state and represented Santa Barbara County and the state of California in Washington, D.C., which is quite remarkable. I am always so proud of who and the students that we send up to compete at the state level. So, and I don't think we're going to have any problem with that again this year. So, again, I want to thank the parents, I want to thank the students that take this on, and the faculty members as well. And again, I want to thank the remarkable judges that we have here tonight. So, Stephanie, while you're going ahead and playing, I just also want to let people know we want to have some photo ops at the end, and especially the winners. We need you to sign some photo releases for use of photos and some information that vary from what poems you're going to be reciting at the competition to what T-shirt size. So please stick around for that. Anyway, we'll let you know when the judges have made their decision.
I know the tension is great, but we have to pause for a commercial break first. It's a very short one, and Chris is going to handle it.
All right, I just wanted to mention April coming up is Poetry Month, and we do a bunch of really exciting things in town. There's probably things at your school, there's things in the county, there's things with the museum. And Carol, in her column in CASA, will have a full list at the end of March. You can also go online, sbpoetry.net, and we're still developing the whole thing. It's going to be big, it's going to be flashy. So check it out, look for posters, and get involved. If you have ideas for things you think you'd like to do, readings you'd like to put together with friends, or if you have musician friends that want to participate, you can reach me at the back of the room, and I'd love to have you participate. Thanks.
Thank you, Chris. Chris is pulling all of this together. Now comes the big moment, and I know I can speak for the judges that this is their hard work. And it's made hard by the fact that you guys were so good. There's so many very, very fun. But they had to come down to just 3 people, and the first place winner will go up to Sacramento and compete for the state, and the second place winner will stand right behind that first place winner in case he or she can't make it and be the replacement. So starting with number 3, Rashika Singh. The winners are getting a chit for books from various local bookstores, and they're also getting what Ginny has called a placeholder certificate. It doesn't have their name on it yet, so they'll actually get the real one afterward, but for photographic reasons, they have to have a temporary one. Thank you. And our second place winner is Hayley Peterson. I'm not trying to hold you up. It really did take me that long to find it. And our winner for this evening is Courtney Cameron.
Again, I want to thank everyone that participated, everyone that came and watched the performance, the parents that helped coach at home, the teachers, and the judges, Stephanie, for providing tonight's music. And I want to thank County Television, who's recorded this evening, so give them about 2 weeks to do the editing and watch for Channel 20, and you can see yourselves on TV. And I want to also thank my staff of the Arts Commission, Linda Gardy, our business analyst who gets people paid, and Rita Ferry, our visual arts coordinator. And they, tonight, are serving as your caterers. So refreshments, as I said, are next door. And so please go over there and make yourself help yourself to some refreshments. And what I do need is, before everyone leaves, I would like every student that participated to come up here for a group photo. And so we can get that taken, and then we're going to let that group head off. And then I need to have the winners for photo ops here. Nell Campbell will be, you need to pay attention to her and do what she tells you to do. And then I need to take headshots and get signatures for our first place winner and for our second place, our runner-up. And this may require, if they are under 18, some parental signatures here. This is where I need your T-shirt sizes so they can get the right size for you in Sacramento. And people, the winner and the second runner-up, you will have to fill out first, second, and third place poems for consideration when you compete at Sacramento. But I need to get all of this finished and to Sacramento by tomorrow. So please stick around if you were one of the winners. And again, if we can get everybody up here for a group photo of the students, that would be great. And then please enjoy yourself next door. And thank you again.